growing up in Africa, spirituality, first of all, is not an option. It's not like you have to opt into a religion to be a spiritualist or spiritual. Right. It is a part of your embodiment.
Preach!
What I realize is that in America, or in the West in general, there's been a deliberate attempt to disconnect man from the spiritual.
Woo!
So if man is bound within the material universe and only sees himself as a material being, he's bound to be mentally ill in some capacity.
Oh my God!
And of course, the
talk to Don Tavius about it. Teach Don Tavius.
Hold on.
Teach that. Teach young. Wait a minute. I'm gonna say some Brother Pop teaching this morning. Go ahead.
The end.
Lord have mercy. How many years of that stuff is gotten inside of this person's brain, even worse than what they were? So the question is, if this is not working, then we've got to find a new way to do it. Yes, Barbara Clark, go ahead.
Khari, before I lose thought, you're absolutely right when you talk about Columbus area, you talk about cop drug, the same people, their life is just stuck. Their life is, they can't progress because they steady every day getting medicated. So that's what they run to that. And
yeah, I think that the current medication is religion. I think that religion keeps people in bondage. I think religion keeps people from really seeking their true, authentic spirituality. I think that specifically Christianity and any type of law or sect that makes you conform to someone else's limited human perspective or understanding is always going to create a blockage for you to reach true mental health. You have to step outside of what someone else is telling you how to live and how to be and what to do, and you actually have to seek true authenticity by going inwardly and not seeking external validation. And I think that's where the solution comes in. It's losing religion, connecting spiritually, and then questioning everything to find out what is indeed true for you.
But I think that a lot of what we have to do is acknowledge our survival has been based on the very things that can also oppress us.
Yes.
Right? So we can say that we're disconnected and we can say that we've bought into, but that's how we got here. Because had you not bought into, you would be extinct. So
and I think that's based on our own personal influence. You talked about conforming to what someone puts in front of us. If I was a gay man living in India, my perspective would be different from a black woman living in America. So my point is to break down those influences and those cultural manipulations and actually go within. It's not so much about conforming to what someone else puts in front of you, but having the strength, the courage, having the strength, the courage, the audacity to challenge the system that was manipulated within us to actually step outside and seek truth on our own. This is what Plato and Aristotle were talking about in the Allegory of the Cave. 17th century philosophers have been encouraging us to do this for centuries. And so many people, especially black people, including me, because I was one of these people, were so conditioned to get up and go to church every Sunday morning, to read and to pay tithes and to do all of this stuff. And I'm speaking as someone who is a Christian, a devout Christian. I preached internationally all over the world for 36 years. And I'm telling you what I know. It takes cognitive dissonance to step outside.
Whoa. Stop now. What is cognitive dissonance?
Cognitive dissonance.
Use language that people understand. I appreciate it.
Cognitive dissonance is when your mind says something is true.
And it's not true.
And then it's confronted with a reality that makes you challenge what you think you know.
Now, Christianity. You said something about Christianity, and I appreciated your statement, too, because you're right. We've had to adapt. And in the process of adapting, though, we actually had a clean slate because whatever memory we had of who we were was gone. We have no connection to that, and so we've taken on somebody else's personality. But inside of us, there's still something there. And when we talk about religion, Christianity in particular, I heard you say, and Barbara, I know you're a Christian, but I heard you say that Christianity, well, this is the impression I got. You did not say it. I got the impression that you are alluding to the fact that Christianity could lead to mental health problems within black people. That's the sense I picked up. Would I be incorrect?
Oh, you talking about Barbara or me?
No, I'm talking about you.
Yes. Any form of religion that boxes you in, anytime you try to oppress something or suppress something that's true to you, causes depression. Okay, so the
Wow.
only way
Wait
to
a minute,
live.
pastors. Hold on, pastor. Did you hear what Dr. L's telling you?
That's why they
She's
act the way
telling
they
you
do.
that y'all are the source of some of this mental illness that we're
I
facing
believe
here.
because
Wow.
I am a pastor. I'm a civic pastor. So
Oh,
I
my
believe
goodness.
that pastors
Come on,
are.
pull the mic up to you now.
I
Come
believe
on.
that pastors, most pastors, especially the ones that I know, have a genuine heart that's built on encouragement and love. The problem that I have is the religious control, the behavioral control, the judgment, the
Got you.
So-
Let's open
The
up the lines. Does Christianity, Dr. L says Christianity contributes to mental health in the black community.
Wait.
Is that true or is
Disaster.
that false? Huh? Talk to me. All right, Barbara Clark, you were going to say something, but let me go to my caller first. Caller, you on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, Brother Carl.
Good morning, Revolutionary. Talk to me.
Brother Carl, listen, I am extremely skeptical. And Brother Mo P start talking. And the reason why I'm skeptical is because he has a very astute way of almost saying that African or African culture is better than African.
He didn't say that.
Uh,
He didn't say that. And if he did, would he be wrong? If he did, my revolutionary brother, would he be wrong? This culture, this mess we living in, huh? I think I'd take his stuff any day over this mess.
Let me say this. African culture is equally raggedy. Listen.
You ever been over there? Have you ever been over there? Have you ever been over there? Huh? What part of Africa did you go to?
I was in Tanzania.
What city?
I was in Tanzania. I was in, oh my goodness, because it was
You don't know what city you was
You don't
in,
know
my
where
brother?
you went?
Dar es Salaam? Is that where you were?
Listen, and Brother Carter, when I went, do you know I was seeing them do things that was almost the equivalent of how we do things here. And it's crazy because they get here and they look down on us.
Yeah, but did you hear something else that the good doctor said? The good doctor said Christianity is contributing to mental illness for African Americans. That's what she said.
hey,
And you've been preaching that forever.
Do you think Osun, and Oldamare ain't got nothing to do with the mental health of Africans? That's a religion that wasn't truly theirs either.
Well, hold on. Let me wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. I got bro Pop, jump in here. Bro Pop, come on, get up to the mic.
All right.
He's smiling, trying to be
That
cute.
was-
Answer.
That was funny. I first of all, I think that the statement on Christianity is absolutely flawed. I think that comes,
What?
Yeah.
I believe that comes out of the
You saying
lack-
she's incorrect?
Yes,
No.
sir.
Wait, how's she incorrect?
It comes from the lack of understanding.
Oh,
of the-
she knows
first
she's
of
the
all,
preacher.
The genesis
Of what?
Of what God means, not
That life started
Christianity.
6,000 years
See,
ago, but
I
we
could-
got
I could
evidence
agree.
and it goes back almost to 20
I could
million
agree.
years.
I could agree.
Talk to me.
I could agree with the terminology religion and the pocketing of religion, the idea that we're just adopting a religion and we're running with it. However, there is something behind religion. Now, I say this:
What?
Africans knew of.
Wait a minute, stop. What? What's behind religion?
God, simply. that.
okay, so I'm all for God. I am anti-religion, and that includes Christianity, Buddhism, any type of
So
legality.
you're atheist?
No, I believe in God. I got the Holy Spirit.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Okay, but
Now listen.
you don't accept Christianity.
What do you mean accept? I know
Just what I
scripture
said.
like the back of my hand. I don't believe God is a Christian.
You have to talk to
I
the mic.
don't believe that God is a Christian.
Oh,
I believe that human beings have labeled and created these categories so that we could try to understand in our human intellect a non-human thing. That's why so many people have a problem with someone who is Buddhist if they're Christian, or someone who is
Hold on for a
gay
minute. Doc,
because
Doc,
they're
did-
heterosexual.
Did you know
It's
she was
because
like this?
human beings have
that's why you
to
wanted me to bring her on, right?
understand. Human beings have
said
to
bring
find
her
a
on
way
for
to
fun.
understand this non-human thing. So they say, well, God is. That's why the scripture says God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Like
Mhm.
the whole thing is God. Stop giving a non-human entity human characteristics.
Okay, hold on for a minute. Brother Park, you want to respond?
I think that with regard to what she just said right now, the idea of Christianity being an adaptation, mind you, of an African spiritual lifestyle. That's what Christianity truly is. And if we understand that
So her rejection of Christianity is rejecting who she is.
Thank you.
Is that what
I don't
you're
think
telling me?
so, because God is in me. We are all
the
God.
You
basis
gotta
of
talk into the mic, my
Christianity,
sister.
We are all God.
the basis of
Okay.
Christianity from the, if you study the
Hold on,
Torah,
revolutionary.
Oh,
you study,
somebody, what's that? Psalms 98
I don't know.
or 92. It's either Psalms chapter 92 or 98 that says we are God.
I agree with
so,
I agree
So
with that.
why would
but that
I-
does not mean that you're not created by a creator.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't disagree with that.
Thank you.
God
So-
created
but wait a
me,
minute, but
which is the
wait a
big
minute,
G.
Brother Park. She
and I'm a little
says
G.
that Christianity contributes to mental illness in black people.
I disagree
Do you
with
agree
that
with that?
statement.
What did I
Why?
say? What
I
did I say?
disagree with that statement that Christianity
Contributes.
contributes to mental illness
I-
in black people.
I said all religion,
Yeah,
all
but you
bondage.
specifically,
including
I-
Christianity.
but you specifically pointed out
disagree with that.
Christianity.
In fact, that is so
Psalms
wrong
82.
that I would
thank
not
You
you.
encourage
repudiate
somebody.
that?
Excuse me?
You repudiate her statement?
Yeah, I don't know what repudiate means.
I don't
You better
but-
repudiate it.
I just heard it. It sounded nice.
But all I'm saying is that statement is absolutely wrong. And why would I say that? I say that to mean
Barbara Clark, get that other mic.
you go to
Big time Christian
you
Barbara
go
Clark.
to the most remote regions of Africa, and they still till this day practice that which you describe as the cause of mental illness amidst black people in America.
Hold on,
Now-
Dr. L. Let me let Barbara Clark jump in
You
here.
know,
And then I need to have Black Jesus get in here. Then at some point in time, I'm gonna get Don Tavius back in here.
I'm not gonna hurt my people.
Somewhere down the line, I'll get him back. You did this, Don Tavius. You brought Dr. L in now we really rolling. Go ahead.
You like, I often wonder why I always question pastors and behaviors.
Into the mic, Barbara
and
Clark.
behaviors. And she said it, Andrea said it.
Andrea's statements
She
were
said,
really
we
powerful.
pretend to be something on the outside who we're not on the inside. Why do we pretend? If I'm who I am on the inside,
I don't know who I am. Don't you get it?
my spiritual being
Wait a
is
minute.
who I am.
Hold on for a
That's
minute,
so true.
Barbara.
My
Barbara.
spiritual being.
Barbara. I don't know who I am. That's the problem.
That's where the
I
influence
got
know
it.
I'm
It
not
got
the only one
stripped.
Know who I am.
Oh my God. Okay, tell me what your original religion was. Tell me what your language was.
Yeah, my
Tell me
religion
what.
was-
Tell me how much
It's all
land you
based on
owned in
influence.
Africa. Tell me about your family history beyond slavery. Go ahead, since you know who you were.
No, Khari, I'm saying
That's what I figured.
It's all
I
based.
can help you
It's
with
all
that.
based on influence.
Right.
It's all based
You
on
bring
your
an
influence.
Italian in here, he can tell you all about Rome.
What do you
It's
mean
all
by
based
hold on
on
for a minute.
influence.
Hold
It's
on.
all based on influence.
You bring a German in here, he can tell you all about Germany. You bring a Brit in here, he can
That's
tell
what
you
I'm
about
saying.
the British Empire. He can tell you everything. You understand?
Yeah,
You don't know who you are.
But-
So you've been stripped of that mentality. So you
But I
fall
know it's
into
something
no.
in
They have
me.
no. I don't even know that. They made you
You're
who
making,
you are.
you're making,
No.
with
We-
all due
that's why I
respect,
fight.
There's
being Italian, being African American, being Portuguese, no. The same people that oppressed us, the same people that
Yes.
colonized us, colonized Nigeria.
Yes.
The same people that colonized us also brought division in Germany and Spain.
Yes.
And so for us to assume that we don't know, we have intergenerational history. I never met my grandmother. I
How
never
far
met
back-
my
how far
grandfather.
back
Wait,
does it go?
let me say this. But I know my grandmother left home at 15 to clean houses for white people.
Okay.
But I never met her and I felt her trauma. I never met my grandmother, but I knew education was important. So you know your history.
Actually,
And
we
you
don't.
experience.
Actually, we don't.
But is your history only rooted in Africa,
Okay.
or is your history rooted in humanity?
Well,
I don't
first of all-
experience pain
First of all, the
differently.
effective majority of black people in this area of the world can trace their history back to African because they're
Yes.
classified as African American or they're classified as black. So if you meet that classification, then you need to know what that is. Now, if I'm an Italian, I will know about Rome because it's broadcast and propagandized every day. If I'm a Greek, I know about Greece. But if I'm an African American, I want you to tell me how far back you go.
So let
if
me
you
ask
go
you
back
this.
to 1800, that's not your history.
So
that's
But if
that's
I
a
go back
limited
to
piece.
Togo and Benin and Cameroon, which is what my ancestry says. I also know that those areas were not called Togo.
Absolutely not.
And
Yes.
Cameroon.
They
And so
redid
again,
that.
I'm saying that colonized mind
Yes.
is something that
That's
we've
what I mean
all
by-
taken on, but we have to go as far as we can with our history and stop allowing other people to say what we do and do not know.
Right.
That's
minute.
part of the
I
oppressive
agree.
issue.
That's
I agree.
what I'm-
So we're basically saying something very similar.
Very simple.
I call it the racially oppressed mind. You call it the colonized mind. Okay, that's fine. What I'm simply saying is that the mind is not ours. That's the problem. So when you say, I know who I am inside, from the time you are born in this area of the world, you are programmed to think a certain way. And other things are taken out of your memory.
Yes.
So are you no
Yes.
longer held accountable?
Huh?
Because I'm going to go back to the story you started with. The story you started with was about the young person who was, unfortunately, and I hate traumatizing
three-year-old
because
baby.
I think when we talk
Yes,
about it,
yes.
it can traumatize our public.
Absolutely.
So is that person not held accountable because they're not responsible for their history?
Oh, I agree.
No. They're held accountable. Mental illness does not mean you're not accountable. The disease of addiction does not mean that you're not held accountable. You may have mitigating circumstances that have influenced your decisions, but at the end of the day, because we have evolved mentally, physically, spiritually, you are still held accountable. We can't say, well, my excuse is I don't know my history, therefore you can't hold me accountable for my actions.
No, no,
Yes,
no, no.
I can.
And that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that inside of, see, there's an effective response to racism, and Barbara, there's an effective response to racism, then there's an ineffective response to racism. What we are living, what we are not taught is an effective response to white supremacy. Meaning, how do I counter it effectively, even though I've got this mindset? Now, when I do ineffective responses like doing this madness that we saw happen, that's an ineffective response to my oppression. Therefore, I continue to do madness, and far too many of us are ineffectively responding to the condition under which we live. Dontavius, go ahead, real quick.
So I just want to say that this is a fire panel. But one of the things I will say, as to go back to a religion piece, is when we weaponize religion
Right.
at the detriment.
Now stop.
Oh, come on.
Stop.
You
You
say
know,
it the right
you
way.
know better than throw them words
Oh,
out
okay.
there.
Okay.
You've been on
Here
here
we go.
enough.
Come on now.
Now,
let
what
me
does
explain.
weaponize, Reverend?
It's when we use the
Reverend,
doctrine.
Reverend D, what
Thank
does
you, I appreciate it.
weaponize mean? Go ahead.
It's when we use the doctrine of
Doctrine.
the word, right?
Mhm.
The religion to be a detriment to someone's ability to evolve.
You
as
mean
an
to be
individual.
harmful?
To be harmful, absolutely.
To what?
To hurt that person from growing into the person that they can
You
become.
agree with what she says? Her
I
thesis?
I think
Her concept?
So-
do you agree with it?
so. Can I explain?
Don't give me
So-
no political answer. Just say yes or no. Do you agree with
It's
it?
hard to say. I would say
It
that
is
you can.
hard.
It's hard to say yes or no to that because the reality is spirituality and religion can empower people to be
Yes.
different and become better. But you can also, on the flip side, see a detriment of
Does
the weaponization of
Christianity, in your opinion, contribute to the mental illness of black people?
absolutely, it can. Absolutely.
No, I'm not
Can.
talking
I
about it
didn't say-
can. I
Whoa,
said
whoa, whoa, whoa.
does it?
It can.
She ain't said nothing about can.
But-
She said
but
does.
you can't look at life through the black and white lens. I mean,
Right.
you have to.
Oh, that's not true.
Also,
I'm just saying.
Oh, wait.
I'm just saying.
let me.
As a
I'm
matter
saying.
of fact, Dante, that's the whole issue. Yes, you can. And that's the problem.
And let me say-
Wait a minute, hold on. For a minute. We're trying to look through everybody else's lenses but our own. That's why we do all this
No,
sanctuary,
no.
this
When I say
sanctuary.
black
Wait
and
a
white,
minute. And
hold
ain't
up.
nobody giving us no sanctuary.
Mhm.
Well, we're so
Nope.
inviting. These same people we're bringing in here, they don't even like us. They mistreat us.
Mhm.
And we got to fight for the why.
You know, can I ask?
No. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. No, I want to stay where we are.
there you go.
Let's open up the calls. 614-291-0095. Now, when you get to be host, you can do what you want to do. 614-291-0095. No, Barbara, I said no. How come you can't let no be no?
Because that's the why I'm pretending. to
No.
be something
That
I'm not.
didn't even come out right. 614-291-0955. Let's talk about this. Okay, let's everybody go around the room and introduce themselves real quick. So, no. I tell you what, brother, to do that. Let me go with Black Jesus. Black Jesus, you've been too quiet. I don't
Come on,
like
in
it
the
when you ain't
room.
talking. Now, Brother Pop and the doc over here done set it up. Now, what do you think about what you heard?
Let me start by saying I actually agree with the doctor.
What?
I
Yes.
agree that religion plays a part.
As a matter of fact, did you see that move she just made?
I missed
That's a church move.
Oh yeah, actually it is.
Did you see
I
that?
see that.
And yet she talking about Christianity. It leads to mental illness in black folks. Go ahead.
I actually agree with that because when you look at situations like, for example, Uncle Joe molested or raped my daughter, and now in the church they're saying turn the other cheek.
And
The
Uncle
church
Joe
is
was
saying-
the deacon?
Oh,
No,
well,
could
you
be.
just made it even worse. Okay, Uncle Joe's the deacon. At that point, it's like we gotta turn the other cheek. We know this information, so now it's messing up.
That's
what's
interesting.
missing.
So turning the other cheek means that wait a minute.
Yes.
That's deep.
So
that's
So
why
what you telling me? Turn the other cheek is and when something like that egregious is happening, turn the other cheek is a problem. Creates a mental illness. Is
Yes.
that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
because now you're living or you're being preached by this person that's doing these things, and
Brother,
it's like
Brother Park,
it's like
get
okay,
that mic over
it's
there.
like okay, now I'm messing up. Like, okay,
You
how-
share that mic with Doc over here.
I
'Cause
don't-
I'm gonna
I
get
don't
this
want-
going.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No,
But-
no,
oh,
no.
I'm
You,
sorry.
you and Doc share that mic. Go
Oh.
ahead. No. Yeah. Where's Doc's mic?
She got a
Doc,
mic
pull
right
your
there.
mic up, Doc.
Yeah.
All right, now we got it. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Black D.
No, but I was saying, like, for example, in those situations, it's like the church is telling you one thing, but it's making you mentally messed up. It's like, no, I should feel this way. This person either killed somebody in my family, this person raped
Thou shalt
somebody in
not
my family.
kill.
See?
Thou shalt not kill.
Right. So if
So what you gonna do? Kill him in order to
But you gotta turn the
Huh?
other cheek. You gotta do certain things.
Well,
What the Bible is telling you, and the church is.
What's wrong with
It's
turning the other
built.
cheek?
It's
Oh,
built to make an inferior people.
Woo!
That's the problem with
What?
it.
How?
Romans chapter 12 says, "Put other people before yourself." There are so many scriptures that were instilled and manipulated into blacks during slavery and other centuries to keep us inferior. I have this whole new understanding of forgiveness. Bible says you got to forgive or else your heavenly Father will not forgive you. But there are some things that just do not deserve, from an internal
Can't
perspective,
forgive.
forgiveness.
Yeah,
I
you
am
can't
all
do it,
for
yeah.
mental peace. You have to do whatever, just like the
Just like
the
the killing of
brother,
the 3-year-old
yeah.
child.
He did what he had to do internally.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
I don't judge him for what he did. He did what was good for his mental health.
Right.
What I'm saying is, I'm all for forgiveness, whatever you got to do for your mental health. But some things,
Are unforgivable. Unforgivable. There has to be
That's
standard.
what it also
All right,
says
Mo
that-
Pop.
I
Brother
totally
Pop,
disagree
jump in
with
here.
that. I disagree with that simply because man was never designed to hoard information or stuff like
What
that.
about women? What were they designed?
By man, I mean
You said man. Wait,
By
wait,
man, I
wait.
mean humanity.
No.
The greater man.
You
Use words
womanity.
wisely.
Bring in
Men
women in
and
here.
women.
Lift up your mic, brother.
Men
You
and
know
women
better.
were
What
never
do you kinda
designed.
Nah,
men,
that's
and
better.
men and women were never designed to hoard information like that or experiences
I
like
don't know
that.
what
There's
you're
a-
talking
there-
about. Would
let,
you
let me,
answer
let
the
me be more
question?
specific. He made
All
a
right,
reference
thank
to
you.
the Bible saying that, given an analogy of,
Turn the
say,
other
an uncle, exactly, turn the other cheek.
Turn the other cheek. Let's work with that.
leads to a kind of a mental.
Was
you
he
know,
wrong?
He's absolutely wrong.
Why?
There's a reason why the Bible said forgive 77 times or 7 times or something of that nature.
You gonna
Yes,
forgive
77, that's John chapter 17.
Thank you, Pastor.
You gonna forgive King
Doctor.
Leopold? You gonna forgive King Leopold
Not
who
for
killed up
him.
10 million black
Not
people?
for him.
Oh no. The
Not
Bible
for
says
him.
forgive him 77
I will
times.
forgive him for me.
I ain't forgiving him at all.
See, that's
I
what
will
I'm saying.
forgive him
I
for
don't,
me.
you killed
It's
10 million
a
Africans and
reverse-
I'm supposed to forgive you? No, I'm sorry.
It's
No
actually-
way. I don't know why you trying to
That's what I'm
forgive
saying.
King
The
Leopold.
whole reason that you're saying you're forgiving him for you is so that you can live your life without hatred in your heart.
But-
And that's what I am for. I am for
My heart
forgiveness
don't
from
have
the
the
term.
heart pumps blood. If anything, it might be in my head, not my heart. Come on,
Okay,
let's get this
okay,
right.
break it down.
All right.
So I get that. But the whole turn the other cheek is saying allow people to treat you however they want
Continue to abuse
and
you.
do nothing.
And do
And I
nothing.
think that is what
And
creates
that-
the mental
and
health
there-
Yes.
issues.
there
I
you
Yeah.
think
And I
that
think
there are many.
and that was
Absolutely.
created to keep us inferior as
Yes.
a people.
There it is.
And
Yes.
even the concept of forgiveness as
Yes.
scripture teaches it, not forgiveness as God or spirituality teaches it.
Wow.
Because I
Let's-
think that's two
so are
different
we-
things.
I tell you,
But as
why we
scripture
doing
teaches
it.
it was meant to keep us inferior. It was to make us subservient to
It
a
makes
white
us
supremacy.
mentally ill.
So
That's
that
what you say. Go
so
ahead.
that 3-year-old little girl, are we going to forgive the people that killed her?
No.
Exactly.
I told you my feelings.
But
no.
hold on, the church and the Bible
Oh!
says
Yeah, you have
so. So we have to forgive them.
That's why they act
So
the
you
way
think-
they do.
so
That's
which
why
is
they act the
control.
So
way
you
they
think the
do.
church is wrong for teaching that? Is that what you're saying, Black Jesus?
Yeah, I actually think I think that's wrong for us to teach those types of things. If somebody is killing you, if somebody is
Turn the other cheek.
like
Yeah.
that
Just like what
that's-
happened in
that
South
messes with you
Carolina.
mentally.
Just like that
Oh,
fool went
man.
down. You were out there crying, and the big old
when he
6'5" 300-pound man around there crying, holding hands. You should have been getting your guns and going after him.
Or even in Texas when the guy
Go after.
Even in Texas when the guy hugged or the
Oh,
brother,
yeah.
they hugged the brother. Like even that situation.
The judge.
The judge
comes
yeah,
down there.
The
and
judge gave
what
her
he
his
did.
Killed
personal
this black
Bible.
person.
Her
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
Bible.
So that
Sick.
messes with you mentally because like this person just killed your brother, but you hug him. So now
He
you
So
did.
there's mental.
So
okay.
many Christians are like, that's the best thing to do because forgiveness and love. And I'm like, I get that, y'all, but you have to find your own truth. He did what was best for him. But
He's
why
sick.
was
His
that
mental
best for
illness.
him?
It
It was
wasn't.
because black people have been taught to comfort our oppressors for their oppression. And we have to stop doing that. We have to stop allowing.
We have to have her back.
I-
Walt, grab that mic.
We have to
Walt,
stop allowing.
Walt been over there scratching and itching. Go ahead,
No,
Walt.
because she's just 100% right. Like you said, she's hitting all she's hitting everything right on the money. Because I believe that forgiveness within itself can be a mental illness. When you're forgiving somebody who's continually doing you wrong, but you feel some internal need to forgive
I
somebody
love you, baby.
who's showing you no love.
Yes.
So that's a form of mental illness
Yes.
within itself. And
Yes.
we wonder why we
Yes.
Yes.
So Walt, I got this woman, and I love this woman, but this woman doing me wrong. She exploit me. She won't treat me right, but I keep on forgiving because I'm in love. And I need her in my life. You don't know what she does for me. She make me feel good
creating mental
in the
illness.
midnight hour. She's right, Barbara. She make me feel good
Okay.
in the
I bet she
midnight
does.
hour.
You
I
guys-
even
you guys-
bring
you
her
guys-
hot
you guys
sauce
are-
at 3 a.m. in the
You
morning.
guys are pretty much
But-
saying.
But what you telling me is that I am mentally ill because
Yes.
I am in this forgiveness
Absolutely.
notion.
You
Is
need
That's
that
exactly what I'm
It's-
saying.
what should I do in that kind of case?
Self-love and self-worth.
You absolutely have to leave her for your own mental health.
Are you
And that's
saying
the
that to black women that where black men are
I'm
mistreated?
saying that
Same
for black
thing?
people in general. Our relationship with white people in general is flawed by nature because we feel a need to offer them forgiveness for crimes they've committed against us. But yet we're conflicted with the idea of, okay, well, internally, like another thing about, there's nothing wrong with hate. Hate is the emotion that can be used in a positive way. When somebody deserves wrath, you have to give it to them.
Jesus
Other than that,
did
you're
it.
just as sick as the person you're trying to call sick. And so it's really twisted.
Oh, we got a new mental
And I
health
think
Bible.
it
Go ahead,
Can we
Doc.
Yeah,
use
and I
another
think
word though because we keep saying, does that make you mentally ill?
Oh,
And that
okay.
has a stigma that goes
It does,
with it. And
it
my fear
does.
is we'll walk away from this conversation and you'll have people who are hurting, who are in need of support and help. And we as a community continue to stigmatize the fact that we need help. Historically,
We
whether
haven't
it's
said
going
that.
to-
So-
well, you did because what you said is I'm mentally ill. No, you're not well with something.
No.
Am I mentally ill because I keep
You're
going back to the
misinterpreting
same
what
woman
I'm
who's-
saying. This,
I
I don't
don't
think
go
nobody
with what-
said
yes,
that.
you
Words
are.
matter.
Yes, you
What did I
are.
say?
You
Words
said
matter.
words
Words
matter.
matter.
Words
And
matter.
you said
Yes.
I love her and I keep going back to her. Does
As
that
an
make
example.
me mentally
Does
ill?
that-
yes.
yes,
No.
it does.
Yes.
That's
no,
the
no,
question.
no.
Mental
What you're saying
illness
is it has
Wait a
a
minute,
You're
hold on,
not.
hold on,
You're
hold
not.
on.
Yes.
You're almost.
Yes.
You're.
blanketing it.
You're making this sweeping statement.
Hold
Which
on.
again,
I-
I think
no,
is
wait,
part
hold
of
on
what
for a
we
minute, my
do.
sister. I
It is
used
you're
it-
not well.
This sister getting
That
rolled
doesn't
on.
mean
Hold
you're
on for a minute.
mentally ill
Right.
and unable to function in every aspect
Hold
of your
on for a
life.
minute, my
Right.
sister.
I'm not well with this
My sister,
situation.
Right.
hold
So
on.
what you
Look,
what-
what I asked was, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, Barbara. What I said was, you exploiting me. You're taking my money, taking my honey, taking everything it is out of my life, and you're dogging me. Like Jackie Wilson said, you better stop dogging me around. And you know you're dogging me. And I keep on forgiving you. Keep on forgiving you. Walter, get to the mic, Walter. Share that mic with Doc.
Okay.
Walt said, I gotta have a mental health problem. I'm mentally ill when I continue to go with that. Am I correct?
That's absolutely
That
correct.
was my question. It
But-
wasn't my statement, it was a question.
But are you looking at mental illness in a way that oversimplifies it? It
Yeah.
isn't that easy.
Well, I don't know
Does
what
it get in the way of
undersimplifies
you going to
mean.
work?
Well,
Does it
he
get in
used
the
a
way of you
specific
relating to
example.
other
Let him
people? Does it
answer.
get in the way
Wait a
of
minute,
you?
wait a minute, my sister,
No,
let
I
him
get
answer.
you. But I think that you have to. My fear again is we have a public that's listening.
And
And to say to somebody the fact that you stay in a relationship that has your
That's
friends makes
detrimental?
you mentally ill Instead, you say, you know what, you're
Unhealthy.
staying in a relationship that isn't healthy,
Right.
and you need to seek counsel and you need to seek help.
Agreed.
Why you
It
seek-
doesn't make you mentally
Isn't that
ill.
mental illness when you
Because,
get counseling?
I mean,
Duh.
What
Yeah.
makes you stay in
No.
that
I didn't say it was
relationship?
incurable. I'm just diagnosing the issue. Now you can cure your mental illness, just like if you get a
Walk
cold.
away.
Are you sick? Yeah, you're sick, but you're not sickly. You can recover. You know what I mean? There's a
That's
difference.
it.
And so
That's it.
we're using an analogy. He gave me a specific example, and I just responded to the question. Now you want to have it may sound like we're just making like sweeping indictments, but I was responding specifically to what he asked me.
All right then. Stay,
But
everybody
there's
stay
help
right
for
there.
mental illness.
There might be
Yes.
some
Yes, there
sweeping
is help for
indictments,
those who
but
are-
it's
I'm
not
here,
intended
and
to
I'm
be.
seeing clients.
Everybody stay right there. Woo! Everybody feeling good?
Taylor. Taylor.
Oh, Beast did
Right,
it.
like, it feels like it. I got
Pop, you moved over there.
Beast mode the
Like,
regular.
I can't be on
Over
this.
here.
Y'all push me
I
out.
want to go over here.
Forces, the force.
Hey, you got thrown out the village,
The
brother.
force.
I wanted you to stay with me.
The force
here.
is
gravitated towards that side. I don't want nobody to think I'm standing with them.
I know, not longer.
Where did where did Don Tavius go? Where is he? You know what he did? He went and hid.
I didn't need to hide. Hey, I'm letting the work speak for itself.
This is wild.
I totally disagree with you guys.
Oh, I
That's
know
why
you
you
do.
stepped over
I'm
there.
trying to
That's
find
why
the
you
right
stepped over
word
there.
to bring it to you. Nah, it's most important to talk on the show. Why?
We got no
Because
time. You only got 15 minutes.
everybody's
you
listening.
But it's really
Y'all
nothing else.
pulling people out of.
But I understand what
grace,
she's
man.
saying.
Not for
I get it.
I do want to say
I'm
something.
saying,
But-
in my opinion,
But,
of your
but what we're
advice,
doing,
So my question
we're
is,
challenging though
somebody
a conception that must be challenged.
But
And
these
so-
are conversations
now-
that I love it here.
And
I want
sometimes-
others to have it.
Yeah, and sometimes in our challenges,
what death
we
means.
get passionate
Right.
because we all live up under this
What triggers in your
madness,
head?
and it is madness.
So what we're doing
I'm
is
really, when you said
And I think her point is well taken. Religion
okay.
does
For me,
lead to mental illness.
for me, I'm telling from experience, right? Because I grew up in an area.
Is it still recording?
Literally, we escaped war.
Yes.
I know people that kill
it
families.
can,
Dr. L, tell us about your books.
Thank you. My first book, which both books are available on Amazon.com. What you want to do is go to Google or Safari, type in Amazon space ELLEMOORE. First book is Venom to Victory, A Journey of Unapologetic Strength. If you want to know about overcoming racist bosses, whether the person you're dating is right for you, how to handle some financial challenges, it's in there. Second book is called Unlearning, Escaping Scriptural Manipulation, Enhancing Spiritual Consciousness. And it's an autobiography based on Plato's allegory of the cave. And it helps people escape the manipulation of scripture to seek God with an authentic truth.
Okay, brother Pop, now you've heard Walt go in on you. You've heard Dr.
They
L.
all went in on me.
You've heard even Black Jesus go in on you.
I like
Now,
it.
I'm gonna give you a chance. Barbara ain't said nothing because she dressed in red today, so she's trying to be. She ain't trying to mess up.
I said
She
stuff.
ain't trying to
Yes, I
mess up
have.
her.
Yes,
she-
I have.
Okay, but wait, hold on.
Our
She ain't
outfit.
trying to mess up her outfit. I understand.
Talking?
Okay, go ahead.
that
But
material, Barbara.
it is a beautiful outfit. It really is. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what's your response? Quick.
I disagree with their statements about Christianity and or the
Religion.
religion in general being, a causality.
Help
for
me to
mental
understand. Give me a definition of religion.
illness. I think religion, my understanding or my definition of religion will be a way of life or just a lifestyle. Every man has a religion.
What does that mean? I don't know. What you
Every
ain't
man
told
has a
me
religion.
nothing.
Every man has a religion, just like every man has faith. It's
How
just
about
you
every
choose
woman?
what to
How come
believe
you
in.
leave out women?
Oh, by
I don't-
man.
I don't want.
sorry.
Let me tell you
Yeah,
something,
okay.
Pac. Let me tell you something, Pac. I don't want no world. Ain't no women. If it ain't
I
no women,
don't-
ain't no
I don't
sense in me
either. I
being
don't
here.
either.
I'm out.
I'm with you on that.
All right, then act like it. Go ahead.
Every human being has a religion. Your religion is. There's
no
a reason.
woman, I'm
There's a reason.
gone.
There's a reason why Islam does not separate your lifestyle from your spirituality from your religion. Christians or many Christians try to see Christianity or the belief system as something that is separate from who they are. religion is from
That's true.
within you.
That's
It's a spiritual.
Can't knock that.
It's a conditioning. Yeah, it's exactly.
Now, Dr. L shaking her head. Dr. L, you can't
Religion
shake
and
your head.
spirituality are two different things.
Two different.
Now, here's the
Barbara,
point that I would
get
like
out
to
of this.
add.
This is
Here's the
between
point that I would
you.
like to add to that.
Go ahead, Pop.
Traditionally, you know, we
Wait a
could
minute, wait a minute, Pop. She said something. I want you. She said religion and spirituality is two different things. True or false?
false.
Why is it false? Come on,
Because-
can't be no dead air. Come on.
Sorry. Because, you know, traditionally people have been accustomed to like white people or the you know, Western civilization coming into Africa and taking
Yeah.
things and
Like
rebranding
like
it
when
and
the
selling
British
it back
came
to
into
us.
Nigeria. Okay. go ahead.
Religion, as we understand it in the West, is just something that was borrowed from the continent and rebranded and resold back to us. Now, in order for us to understand,
You know, Dr. John Henry Clark says that also. Go ahead.
in order for us to truly understand it, it's not to just, you know, dismiss all of it and say that we don't need it, because we've always had spirituality.
No. She says religion and spirituality are not the same.
They're not.
That's what she said. You said you disagree, but you didn't say what's the difference. What's the difference between the two?
I have the difference.
Okay,
But I would
what's
like
the
for you to say it.
What's the difference?
We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. So our spirit, which is eternal, is separate from religion, which is a human set of behaviors that are influenced upon us. That is religion. Religion is behavioral influence. Spirituality is our existence and our understanding of the God within us.
You
I guess
agree
we
with that?
have- I
Disagree?
guess we have two different definitions
Duh.
of what religion
Right,
is.
that's what
Clearly, we have two different definitions of what religion
Well, what's
is.
yours?
I don't define
religion
religion
is controlled
as that.
behavior.
See, I
That's
do
mine.
not define religion as that, and that's why I disagreed with her.
But you don't believe also that religion leads
Religion-
to mental illness. That you don't buy
No,
that.
I don't buy
You
that
think
at all.
religion leads to mental health?
I don't think that
Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely yes.
Why? How does religion create
Because
mental health?
because it gives you avenues to be able to purge a lot of the things that you literally cannot survive in this world hoarding. It gives you an avenue to practice a lifestyle that is healthy, spiritually healthy.
I disagree. I think hope gives you the ability to purge those things that are detrimental to your health. I think optimism and belief give you those things. I don't think it's religion.
You don't think the faith?
I
falls-
think faith
How do
gives you those
so
things.
how do
I
you-
don't think it's religion.
How do you? So you question Christianity, for instance? Well, you mentioned that you.
No,
want
she
to-
did.
Go ahead, go ahead.
She did.
But I thought, Pastor, sorry, Doctor now, but I
I'm
thought
on
that,
all things.
Both.
thank you. I thought that the foundation, or at least the premise of Christianity, is to cultivate faith. True Christianity.
No. God,
That's a good one.
God, which is the giver of hope and faith.
Wait a minute, Doc.
Cultivate.
Stop. Give me a definition of God.
God is spirit, and that's not based on limited human understanding.
That's it?
Yep.
That's your definition?
Yep.
Pac, what's your definition of God? I still don't know what that means, but all right. Go ahead.
God is she and I. God is us. God is everything. It's hard for me to articulate God without using God. God is the breath of air that we're all inhaling right
Push
now.
it.
How do you?
Preach.
Come
how do
on,
you-
preach.
I'm sorry. How do you quantify God when
You
He's
can't.
outside of
Oh!
time and space?
Come on,
God's
come on.
not a he.
Keep going, Pac. Whoa. Woo, I'm
Exactly.
getting inspired in here. Black Jesus, you need to listen to Pac. Boy. Pac rolling.
So-
All right, quickly, Doc.
So I think the importance of this conversation though is, and I want to make sure.
I'll do the summary, bro.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I got you.
Y'all take
I
this.
got
Always trying to take control.
Hey, look, I'm just trying to get my little piece in.
Well,
Can
you
I
already
get
got your
All
piece in. All
so,
right.
So the beauty about this conversation, to go back to that, is what Andrew talked about. Like, there's help when people need it, right? I don't care if you use your
Okay,
spirituality.
we understand
Yes.
it, but we're not
treatment.
talking about a system
Mhm.
as much as we're talking about a philosophy that
Yes.
guides that system.
I get
This
that.
is what we're dealing with. So, you cannot cut off a discussion because the very foundation for that system is a corrupt philosophy. It's a philosophy that does not fit the people who are supposed to be serving. So what we've got to do is come up with a different philosophical overview so that we can begin to address our problems. Okay, close out, Andrew. Go ahead. We got about 30 seconds or less.
Do not become the very thing that disdains, that you disdain,
Mm.
or the very thing that oppresses you. take the opportunity to investigate for yourself, in your truth, with your family, with your supports, with your community, what works for you. Khari, you said, stop using the same old thing, especially if it's not working. In essence, that's what I heard, especially when the system is not designed for you.